Hello everyone and welcome to the Originals After Show here on the Stream.tv. I'm your host Kate Durocher and with me tonight are Alexia Pearl and Monique Gelineau. So, oh my gosh you guys, so many crazy things went on this episode and we are so excited to talk to you about all of them. But first we want you to get into the conversation, so tweet us at theoriginals_AS and maybe you can be featured on the show. Now, my big question of the night is, who can we trust? We have Lucien telling us one thing, then we have Tristan telling us another. Honestly, I don't even know who to believe anymore. What do you guys think?
Honestly, I believed Lucien when he was talking to Cami. When he was saying, I'm here to protect Klaus, I'm here to protect all the people that surround Klaus. But then when he reminded me of the werewolf bite, I just feel like he was very sketchy in that moment in not telling Klaus. So I honestly don't know whether to believe him or not. I'm kind of on the fence.
Right now, I think I'm lenient towards Tristan because we saw what Lucien did and he's a little bit off. I don't know if he's telling the truth. He hid that werewolf bite cure that he has. So I think the only one that I'm trusting right now is Tristan. I don't know too much about him, so he could be the killer, he could not be, but I'm leaning towards him.
And my question is also, Lucien, like when you see the flashbacks, you almost feel bad for him. He clearly went through a lot with Klaus and they have some type of bond. So do you think he really could be trying to protect Klaus, or does he have an ulterior motive?
Well, I don't know. I mean, based on his memories, based on the memories we've seen so far, it seems like Klaus has done a lot for Lucien. And it seems like when he got turned, Lucien was happy and he was excited. And I mean, so far we haven't seen anything where Klaus has betrayed him. I don't know if that's to come. But you trust Tristan?
I don't think I do, yeah. He seems like he's out there to protect Elijah's storyline, so I trust him in that sense, that he wants to protect himself, and he's kind of straightforward about, you know, don't trust Lucien, he has the weapon, and Lucien isn't being honest about that, so that's why I trust him more than Lucien.
But is it Tristan who's doing the killings, or could it still be Lucien? Because if it's Tristan, then I don't know, I can't trust him. Yeah. There's just no way.
Yeah, I definitely think if it's not Tristan, then it's definitely his people. I'm not sure if, you know, he has the time to go out and do those killings on his own, but I feel like he definitely sends out his minions to have his dirty work done. So I feel like he's behind it for sure.
I like that, his evil minions.
Yeah.
He's got him doing all the behind the scenes murders, casual, no big deal. But we also see in the flashback him cutting Lucien's face, just like all the murders are. So it seems to me like he's definitely one behind it and Lucien's telling the truth. He's not the killer in New Orleans right now.
He definitely seems evil, but I think he's kind of straightforward with what his intentions are. Unless he's the killer, then of course, you don't know, he's kind of out there too. But I trust Lucien that he wants to protect himself and that's why he's trying to help Klaus. And I really think he's being honest about that point.
Yeah, but in those last moments when he, well, was that a cell phone that he whipped out of his coat?
Yeah.
So he whips out the cell phone. Obviously we think that he sees that newest dead body in front of him. He smirks. He's happy about it. He smiles about it. He's sketchy.
Exactly. There's something not right about him. He really creeps me out. But so does Lucien. So I'm kind of up in the air about both of them. But now we also have a new vampire, maybe witch, we're not really sure, Aya, who obviously is a badass. I'm kind of excited to have her in the show.
Definitely, definitely. And she is a vampire. I think that hasn't been established yet, but she has that super strength. I mean, who else has the power to beat up Marcel and his whole crew like that? But then, yeah, what kind of witch-like qualities does she have to be able to poison her, you know, little sharp knife to make Marcel fall asleep? I mean, where did she get that from?
I think she's a vampire chemist because we know that Elijah sired her. He said that, so we know she's a vampire, and I think the rest is just she's got some skills and she knows how to cook up those extra things.
She's got some witchy friends.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting to see who each original sires, they're automatically more like drawn to and they have more of a chemistry with, and they're always like interacting somehow. I think that's really cool to see in this season, more of the backstory behind who the originals actually are.
Yeah, because when Klaus sired Lucien, you see Lucien's story about how he's kind of the underdog, which was Klaus too. Klaus was always hated on by, like, it stemmed from his father mostly, but, you know, he's always the black sheep of the family, so you could definitely see similarities between them and the people that they sired. I mean, Elijah's a badass and I is a badass, so he saw something there.
Exactly. Kind of like their mommy and daddy in a sense. They're vampire mommy and daddy, so it makes sense that they kind of follow their lead and do what they do, kind of imitate them a little bit.
But then at the same time, we have Klaus, who is so mad at Lucien right now, but they have such a deep backstory and relationship, and he obviously feels some type of, emotion for Lucien, but he's just so mad at her. Is he mad because of Cammy? What does Lucien want with Cammy?
I think Klaus is definitely mad at Lucien because of that whole image where he saw where just even having Lucien in the same room as Cammy isn't safe for Klaus. So I think just right off the bat, there's distrust there.
I think Klaus is super protective of Cammy, and you can see it's so sweet. I mean, in the room, I think just because he saw Lucien touch Cammy's hand in the flashback, that makes him think that Lucien's up to no good, and so he's very protective of her. And when he was talking about, when in the end when he was telling her he doesn't trust him, it's because he cares so much about Cammy. He's trying to protect her.
But then we also have Cammy, who is stopping Klaus from killing Lucien. So it's just this weird little dynamic going on. But I love how, once again, Cammy is like the voice of reason for Klaus. And he thanks her at the end, which I thought was adorable. So again, team Cammy and Klaus all the way.
Local meal.
Do you think that Lucien did anything to her hands when he grabbed it? Because I don't really know what the significance of that was. I mean, he said something about a lifeline, but then, since he has the serum that made the werewolf bite go away in him, is there something else that he could have?
Right, I don't
know what the significance of him grabbing her hand.
Yeah, well, my question is, does he actually want to harm Cammy? Because he says, to Cammy, we have more in common than you think. And he also needs Cammy to get to Klaus. So, how would he benefit in harming her? That's where I'm confused.
Yeah, I wonder if he really wants to protect her, because he was telling Klaus, what would I benefit from if I'm the killer? There's nothing that he would benefit from. He said he wants to help Klaus because he wants to protect his family and friends while Klaus is out doing everything else.
Exactly. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, maybe I don't know. I feel like he definitely wants control over Cammy. I feel that if he has control over Cammy, or if he has Cammy on his side, then he has Klaus on his side. So whatever he's planning with Cammy, it's definitely to get to Klaus.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, poor Cammy, once again, is always being used to get back to Klaus, or to get somebody to convince Klaus of something. It's always poor Cammy in the crosshairs. So
she's always in the middle.
Poor girl. But we love her, so it's okay. Now, okay, Tristan is in town, and he brings a lot of questionable, exciting things going on. What are the Strix? Let's talk about that.
So, right, they're
vampires.
What do they do?
They're the oldest organization of vampires. That's what Aya told us. Elijah said that they're behind many wars and many assassinations, so they're not necessarily the friendliest organization. So they're bad news as far as I'm concerned. I mean, they want to protect Elijah because that's, if that's Aya's sire line, I'm pretty sure that most of the Strix sire line is probably Elijah's too. I don't know, but that's what I'm assuming.
Whose side are they on? The original ancestors or whatever they are. I mean, are they for all the sire lines? Because a war's going on. So what's their intention?
That's a really good question. I'm just confused as to what their goal is. Why are they stepping in all of a sudden, and they never have before in the past? What do they want all of a sudden from the originals?
Yeah, I'm really curious about that, because when they're kind of they seem really strong. There's probably going to be more key players coming in that are, I guess, ancient ancestors. I'm curious to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, and if they are the people behind the feud between all of the sire lines, how does that benefit them? They're just killing each other off anyways.
Yeah.
Maybe they just want the originals in their back pocket.
To control them.
Yeah. So that they're the most powerful. If you're more powerful than the originals, then you're top dog,
Yeah, why didn't anybody tell us that there was maybe somebody who could take on the originals, or who more powerful than the originals? Why is this coming out just right now?
Season 3. Hey!
Surprise, the originals, you're not invincible, which we all thought you were. So that's a little concerning.
Yeah, and we still don't know where that weapon is.
Right.
And it was Tristan that said that he thinks Lucien has it, right? Or at least Lucien knows where it is. And that's what we thought. I think last episode, too, we were talking about that we think Lucien has or knows where that weapon is that could kill them. So.
And what I was wondering was, if Lucien is killed, what's the big deal? Because he has the weapon, the thing that's ultimately going to kill the originals. He's gone, the weapon's gone, the originals are safe.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it solved right there.
So why does Lucien not need to be killed? Why are they protecting him all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Unless someone else knows where it is. Unless he has a confidant. Maybe the psychic, the seer.
Alexis.
Yeah, maybe she knows. Who knows? I don't know.
Speaking of this year, I think it's so weird how they can see the future by biting her, and that's how they get all the prophecies and stuff. Like, oh.
And how she kind of likes it. She always seems to kind of enjoy being bitten. Here, everybody, go ahead, see the future. Okay.
It's like, that's with this season and this show and even the Vampire Diaries, I just like hate seeing that. It looks so painful. It's so gross, but I'm also not good with like blood and squeamish stuff like that. So every single time they bite somebody to like see the future, it's their way of like hooking up. I think it's so gross.
Their way of hooking up, like
Yes.
Haley and Jackson this episode when she hit him with the like that quarterstaff and he bleeds and she just licks it. Hey baby, okay, that turns you on.
I was like
supernatural freaky right there.
It was like so weirdly sensual and so gross at the same time. I was like, I don't really want to be watching this. And all of a sudden she's like bending over backwards. Like, this is getting real weird right now.
But I mean, hey, they're going strong. I mean, Haley and Jackson, I was all for them this episode. They're really working hard to, you know, maintain a healthy mommy-daddy relationship, and he clearly takes an interest in Haley's emotional well-being, and so I loved them this episode.
Absolutely. I think that was my favorite part of this episode, was getting to see more of their interaction and more of their alone time and how Jackson's kind of helping Haley work through things. But my question is, will Haley be able to get through these things, or is she going to continue to be like a threat to Jackson and maybe even Hope?
I think she's going to be able to get through it. I mean, I think Jackson, as long as she has Jackson by her side, she can get through it, because you see him and everything he's doing for her. I mean, Haley's obviously really stressed out by what's going on, and you always see Jackson coming in and just helping her cool off, blow off the steam somehow. So he's a really great asset to the relationship.
But Haley did bring up a good point when she was saying that as soon as that candle blows out, I'm going to turn back into a werewolf, and so are you, Jackson, and what if I'm holding baby Hope? That is something that I never thought about, and I don't know, I'm curious if she would be able to restrain herself in her werewolf mode from not, I mean, attacking her child. That would be terrible. I don't think that would happen. I think that she, even as a wolf, she would have more willpower than to do something like that. But that's a threat for sure.
But at the same time, she's new to the hybrid thing. So has she even learned fully how to control her instincts? Like in the past, we see the vampires working through it and they learn how to not kill on instinct, but has Haley even had that time to kind of learn how to control herself? I don't know if she even ever got that opportunity. She was kind of thrown right into it.
I think if it were to happen, I don't know, just because I have so much faith in Haley, I think she would be able to control it because of her love for Hope.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think her love for Hope would, you know, dominate overall, hopefully.
Yeah.
But
hopefully.
Yeah. Oh, good one. I was wondering where Hope was this episode. We didn't get to see her at all.
I know. We heard her crying when Haley was yelling at the corner and saying, you know, turn that down, my baby's trying to sleep, which was hilarious. But yeah, I've definitely missed her this episode.
Yeah, Mama Haley was definitely out to play this episode, and I loved it. I love seeing her take on that role, the mother role. It's always interesting. Instead of, once again, not being the, like, submissive, powerless person that she was in the first couple seasons, now she has her power back, and she's taking control, and she's actually working through things on her own instead of having things being thrown at her. So I think it's really great to see.
Mm-hmm. I definitely love that about Haley. But I really did miss Hope in this episode. And last one, it was so funny where she's all walking. She's like, probably, I'm going to go get some cookies. Oh, Mommy and Daddy are fighting. Okay, I'll just go back to my room now. That was so cute.
I love Hope. I think she's adorable. She was the cutest little baby.
She is.
To do that. So, Klaus mentioned that him and Lucien have brought out the worst in each other before. What exactly do you guys think he meant by that?
I don't know. I don't think we've seen... well, definitely Klaus brought out the worst in Lucien because he turned him into a vampire. He wreaked havoc on that whole, you know, palace lobby. So that's definitely bringing out the worst in Lucien that every vampire has in the beginning, that bloodlust. I'm not sure how Lucien brings out the worst in Klaus. But he did make Klaus reckless in that moment where he kind of joins in and he feeds on that waitress. I'm not waitress. That maid? Is that what they call it? Maid? Sorry. Oh, wow, that was bad. But yeah, so he feeds on her, and that one I think is that was a part of Lucien, you know, that affected Klaus badly, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I think what Klaus brings out the worst in Lucien definitely has to be his vampire side. That's the worst thing that could be brought out, is his rage. And you see it when he went out on that killing spree. And I'm not sure what Lucien does to Klaus, though.
Yeah, I'd really love to see more of like their backstory because obviously they go way back. So I love seeing the flashbacks so we can actually see more of what's going on to where it's making them who they are today. So I think that's really interesting. But I also want to know, do we think that everything that's going on right now can bring Klaus and Elijah back together?
I definitely hope so because they are the best team ever. Whenever they're working together, it seems like everything gets done. So I hope those two get back together. And you saw it in Klaus's eyes. I mean, he really means it. He's there for family. And so I trust Klaus when he's talking about his family and trying to protect them. And Elijah too, of course.
I honestly don't think that they're going to be reconciled until Elijah knows for sure that Haley's safe. And that Hope's safe. And that, I mean, unfortunately for him, Jackson's safe. You know, that whole family dynamic. I don't think Elijah's even going to trust Klaus until that curse is broken and Haley's and Jackson are allowed to be in their human bodies when they choose to and their werewolf bodies when they choose to. Because, I mean, yeah, like we said, Hope isn't safe until then. So Elijah's not going to be happy, that's for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And then also the prophecy predicts that it will be family against family when the time comes. So does that mean Klaus and Elijah, or does that mean maybe the family could be counted as like a sire line, and it will be a sire line against maybe their sire? I'm hoping it's the latter because, of course, I want Klaus and Elijah to be a team again. What do you guys think?
Yeah, because Lucian was saying to Klaus how they're brothers now after he was sired. So it very well could be Lucian who's the family one that's going to be, I guess, the one to break the prophecy.
Yeah, and then Marcel too. Like, I don't know if Lucian counts as a family member and if Marcel counts as a family member as well, because back, I think it was brought up back in season 1, Marcel's backstory when they came back to New Orleans, that he was a part of their family for a while. He lived with them. Klaus raised him like a son. So does Marcel count as a family member too? Because it looks like he's going to betray them any day now.
Exactly. I don't know. We have so many unanswered questions going on right now. I was also upset this episode that we didn't get to see Davina or Freya at all. I love them. Where were they?
I'm hoping that Freya's out partying. I'm hoping that she's taking a day.
Getting that much needed break.
Yeah.
She deserves it. Like Jackson tried to do for Haley, but it kind of backfired this episode.
Oh yeah, she's babysitting. That's what she's babysitting. Okay, so maybe she had one day, but then she's back to babysitting when they have their little like workout date. So
I guess what made up for not seeing those two was seeing Josh. I'm so glad I saw that guy. He's so funny.
Yes, I love him, and I love that he's there for Davina. I just love their relationship, their friendship, and like I said before, I think Davina just needs more people on her side. So now that Josh is back, I think it'll be great.
Yeah, now she has a best friend in town, which she didn't have. She didn't have anyone until more recently. So hopefully that'll help her sanity, help her, rule over the covens better.
Do you think that now the storyline is going to be more focused on what's happening to the originals, or are we going to come back to Davina and her coven and what's happening with the witches?
I think it's going to be both. You're definitely going to see, obviously, the originals, what's going on in their lives, but you see Davina every so often, too. It's just this episode we didn't see her.
We're definitely going to see the coven. We're definitely going to see Davina coming up because she's the one that controls the spell over the werewolf. So that interlinks with the originals because Haley's everyone's girl. So I think we'll definitely see them next episode, hopefully.
I hope so. They're my favorite. And exactly what's going to happen with Davina and Haley next? What do you guys predict will come up in the next episode?
Oh, well, I mean, Davina still has Haley under her reign. I mean, as long as that candle's still going, Haley's under Davina's control. I don't know how much Haley will be willing to do for her, but yeah, definitely blackmail at its finest.
I am not sure what's going to happen. I really hope that Davina works on somehow to stop that curse, because I really want Haley to have that comfort of knowing that she's not going to switch and just turn into a werewolf while she's holding her baby.
Yeah, I agree. And then also, speaking of Davina, we have Marcel, who's always on her side, but when Aya and them came back, they said that they wanted to help Marcel regain control of New Orleans. Do you think that would actually happen?
I think they're going to take New Orleans. If Marcel is the only person that's in their way and they, build him up and they want him to be the leader, they're going to take it out from under them. If they're able to subdue the originals and give it to him, they're going to take it for themselves.
Exactly. Why would Tristan, one of the most powerful ones out there, help a different vampire take control of something that he obviously wants control of? That wouldn't add up. What do you think?
I am not sure. I have no clue. I agree with what you say, but I am more concerned with what's going to happen with Aurora. I mean, because she went crazy in the end, and I think she's gonna have a lot to add into what's gonna happen.
Absolutely. That last scene with her where she jumps off the balcony and clearly killed everybody around her. What is her deal? What is going on with her?
It's definitely scary that we have no idea what she's capable of yet. And she seems to be the most unstable one of the bunch. So, I mean, I think we're in store for something really crazy from her.
Well, I can't wait till the next episode to get some answers and maybe clear up some questions. But we'll be right back here on the Originals After Show. Don't go anywhere.
Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live, this is for you.
I love it. That was freaking love it. Oh my God.
I didn't see any of this coming. Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah?
I was like,
How did you get here? No.
Like, kill him. Kill him. Definitely kill him. We're cool.
Shade. Shade left and right, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies, let's put your 2 cents in.
Rubbed me the wrong way and the right way.
But you were like, well, we want to know what's going to happen.
That was killed.
We just want to say we love you all. Thank you so much for your support. You are all seriously the best in the world.
Another beautiful summer at the stream.tv, y'all.
Here we go, guys.
Thank you for being here. Peace out.
Bye, guys.
Hey, Originals fans. Welcome back to the Original After Show. Thank you so much for tuning back in. If you haven't already, definitely subscribe to the channel at thestream.tv. But now, for the best part of the show, we have Twitter shout-outs. What do we got, Alexia?
Okay, first one we got Honeybee500. Lucian seems evil. Not sure if he can be trusted.
See, back to our main question. Can he be trusted? I don't know. I think I trust Lucian more than Tristan when it comes down to it, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, I definitely trust, if it was between the two, I would trust Lucian more than Tristan, but I don't know. I believe Lucian one minute and I don't believe him the next minute, so I definitely think he's out for selfish reasons. I feel like he only wants Klaus to live because he would die if Klaus died, but I don't know what his other intentions are, and I'm worried to find out.
Yeah. At this moment, I don't trust Lucian, just because Tristan is the new guy, and he was pretty straightforward that Lucian has the weapon, and Lucian is not telling anyone about it, so that's why I can't trust him right now. Okay, next question. James C518. I think that Lucian, Tristan, and Aurora are in on this together playing games with the Michelsons. What do you guys think?
I could see that. I could see a little bit of a partnership going on, but I feel like by now the Originals would have figured it out. They always have something in the works where they know what's happening, so I don't think they'd be blindsided by something like that.
And my question is, who is Aurora sired by? Is it by, I think you said that you think it's Rebecca, right?
Yeah, someone on the YouTube page said that Rebecca sired Aurora.
So
that would be crazy.
So now we have someone sired by each of the Originals, and then how would it benefit, so Tristan clearly loves his sister Aurora, how would that benefit Tristan to have his sister killed off if the other 2 sire lines are gone?
That's true.
So do they just want to kill off Klaus? Because 2 of them need to go, apparently, so there can only be 1 survivor. Hopefully not, but that's what people are thinking. So who's going to...
And everybody's
fighting for.
Exactly, and everybody's always against Klaus, so I could kind of see him being the target in this, definitely.
The reason why I don't think that they're working together is because of the flashbacks and where I saw Tristan beating up Lucian. I think Lucian really hates Aurora and Tristan. That's why I don't think those 3 are working together at all. Though it would make sense to get rid of a certain sire line, but they're all from different sire lines. So that's why I don't see them really working together.
That's true. In the flashbacks, you really see like Lucian's anger. So you're right. I don't know if he would ever put that aside and forgive them and work with them. I don't see that happening.
But Lucian did used to love Aurora, right? We saw from the beginning and from all the flashbacks, and that's why Tristan didn't like Lucian to begin with. I'm protecting my sister. So does Aurora have those saved feelings back for Lucian. I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be a flashback.
Yeah, I hope so. I think Aurora might be the key to a lot of this.
Yeah.
Once we know what's up with her, we might get some answers.
Okay, next question. True Love Band B. Y'all notice how whoever in original sires, they have almost the same demeanor as them. That's dope.
Yeah, definitely. It kind of goes back to what I was saying, how the sires and whoever they sire have a really deep connection, and they're always being brought back up in each other's lives, and they're always like drawn to each other. So I definitely noticed that, and it's so true with like Lucian and Klaus. They're kind of similar, so it makes sense.
Yeah, because you turn someone into a vampire because you're saving them from death, basically, or like the human version of death, and thinking that you want to spend more time with them or thinking that you want to live. It should be someone that you don't mind because they're going to be around forever and they're going to be maybe attached at your hip for a lot of the period of time. So it must be someone that they like.
Yeah, and the sire is kind of like a mentor to their new vampies. So yeah, they have to take after them a little bit in ways.
I see it between Lucian and Klaus because they're both kind of arrogant and cocky. And then I see it between Elijah and Aya. They have that kind of noble presence about them. But if Rebecca sired Aurora, then I don't really see it because that girl, Aurora, she seems pretty nuts. And Rebecca seems more stable than her.
But I don't think she was always stable. I think there was a time when Rebecca maybe was a little bit more nuts. So maybe if we see more flashbacks, we can understand that more. And then we have YouTube also.
Yes.
What do we got going on?
Okay.
Monique?
So on our live chat on YouTube, we have Nicholas Kelly who says that Tristan is the one doing the killings. That's what he thinks. So, I mean, I think we're all thinking that but he also says that he's using someone else. So he has minions. He has people doing his bidding for them. So Nicholas, thanks for agreeing with me, buddy. He also says, poor Klaus, but I give up Jaylee or Kaylee. Why is this so hard? So again, we go back to the relationships. Like we put on our blog, who's gonna end up together? Who's Klaus gonna end up with? Who's Haley gonna end up with? Yeah, it's really up in the air at this point. But Jackson and Haley do look pretty adorable, don't you guys think?
Yeah, they had some steamy scenes this episode.
They did. Yeah. I think those two are gonna make it. Just from that scene, they're gonna make it.
I think they're cute. I'm all in favor of it. I don't know. I'm still not really in favor of Klaus and anybody, so.
I really love how Jackson supports Haley, and whenever she's really stressed out, he's there for her.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel at thestream.tv. I'm your host, Kate Durocher, joined by Alexia Pearl and Monique Gelineau. Tune in next week.